This episode of the D-Lew podcast is brought to you by Happy Wrap. You ever wanted to design your very own gift wrapping paper? Now is your chance to do so. Whether it's for the holiday season, weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, no matter what the occasion calls for, you can use Happy Wrap to wrap your gifts. As a matter of fact, you can even design notebooks, greeting cards, gift tags, and so much more. You can sign up today at happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use the promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's happy.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW to get your 10% discount at checkout. By Simpler Hair Color. Hey guys, are you tired of using that drugstore hair dye brand that isn't getting the job done? If you want to use a great product to cover those grays, have no fear, Simpler Hair Color is here. No mixing, no dripping, no mess. It's super easy to use, whether you're a beginner or a pro. Go to simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. Again, that's simpler.thedlewpodcast.com and use my promo code DLEW10 for your 10% discount at checkout. And by WWE Shop with Fanatics. Get your favorite WWE superstars merchandise and wear them proud with superstars like the OTC Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, the Second City Saint CM Punk, John Cena, Main Event Jey Uso, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and so many more. Oh, by the way, they got some really cool championship belts in there as well. So go to wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com. Again, that's wrestling.thedlewpodcast.com so you can go to WWE Shop with Fanatics. This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production. Welcome to the WrestleMania 41 preview edition of the D-Lew podcast, powered by Believe Network. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis. I hope the week is treating you all great. But man, I am so friggin' excited. As you can see, I have on my WrestleMania 39 hoodie that I got 2 years ago when I was out there covering it on behalf of the D-Lew podcast by Believe Network. But Gabby will not be here this week, but she is out in Vegas doing her thing. She has her and the family are out there, give her time with her family. But in her spot this week will be Krista B from Those Wrestling Girls. And her and I are going to break down the entire WrestleMania 41 card. Let's not wait any longer. The WrestleMania preview show starts right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since this young lady has been on the D-Lew podcast with us, back to since November. But Gabby is off this week, as I mentioned in the open. She's out in Vegas with the family and everything. So Miss Krista B from Those Wrestling Girls has graced us with her presence once again. Thank you so much for giving us your time. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I am good. I am good. It's WrestleMania season. I am here in Vegas. For those who follow Those Wrestling Girls, you know what my background looks like. This is a new background because I am here in Vegas. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
Awesome. So, like I said, I'm not in Vegas, although I do have a Vegas
You're
background.
more Vegas
This
than I am right now.
yeah, but I had to do it up. You know what I mean? It is WrestleMania week. WrestleMania week. Has really turned into its own thing the last 10 years. When you
Hmm.
talk about a lot of the independent promotions that are out there wherever WrestleMania is, they already know the fans are going to be there. So I know the collective. With GCW is out there, the WWEID thing is out there. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport is out there. Joey Janela's thing I believe is out there too. And I think
RK
Effie's,
Wrestling's out here.
hmm yeah, so it is live. Let me tell you something. Mania Week is a phenomenon in its own self outside of WWE. So it's really good that a lot of content creators are out there, representing their brands. Those wrestling girls are out there representing their show as well. But before we get into the matches, I do want to talk about, the obvious, and that is there was no replacement match for Randy Orton. Obviously, Kevin Owens did get, he had been working with a neck injury and he slated to get surgery. There was a rumor that he had gotten surgery and that was not true. No one
Right.
knows when the actual surgery date is going to be. So, from your perspective, What do you think is going to happen in regards to the role of Randy Orton during WrestleMania?
I think that Randy is definitely a pivotal key player in WrestleMania. Like he has to be there. I do think that there will be a spot for him.
Hmm.
I do think that it will be like a surprise entrance. I've been seeing and hearing that Aleister Black has officially signed back with WWE.
Yeah, I did hear that.
And him and Aleister Black have this long history. So I do feel like them two getting in the squared circle and, locking up is something that fans want to see. We haven't seen Aleister Black in WWE since he's left. So for him to come back, it would be something that we all want. I do feel like anybody is possible. Like Randy Orton just did an interview talking about, Bad Bunny can tag with him anytime. And I'm just like, I'm a big Bad Bunny fan. So
Yeah.
and the possibilities are endless. And I feel like that is so on brand for it being in Vegas because your possibilities in Vegas and gambling or whatever are endless. So the possibilities for Randy Orton's opponents are endless.
Yeah, I mean, you figure this week, I believe, is when Aleister Black was let go from WWE in 2021. And of course,
Hmm.
there was that little loophole that we later found out 30 days later that his NXT not compete didn't translate to main roster, and his lawyer figured it out, and he was able to appear on AEW like right away, which shocked
Yeah.
a lot of people. So I'm glad that he is, because that rumor was out there for a while that Aleister Black was indeed going back home to WWE, where I think he has a lot of unfinished business there. Because I just think that his run towards the end didn't really
It
sit
didn't make
right with a
any
lot.
sense.
No, it didn't. It didn't at all. So I'm really hoping that maybe Orton comes out and said, I want to wrestle somebody," and of course you hear the music. So we'll see.
I love that entrance of that music with the little whatever the amoeba,
Yeah,
call it an amoeba.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Is. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Yeah, I hope they do because the CFO did that. I think CFO produced it, but it was I forgot the name of the rock band that did it. But
Hmm.
hopefully we'll see that this weekend. But there are 13 matches across 2 days, so we're gonna kick off night one. So we have for the world. And by the way, we don't know if this is going to be in actual match order. I'm just looking at it as it's listed here, but we'll see how it all pans out on Saturday. But night one is we have for the World Tag Team Championships, the champions, the War Raiders, defending against the New Day. Now, to me, ever since they had this, the rebranding of the tag belts, I felt as though that the WWE tag titles on SmackDown have been getting more shine than the Raw, the World Tag Team Championships on Raw. Am I wrong in saying that, or is that
No,
on?
you're not wrong because the Street Profits have been, everybody's been rooting for the Street Profits since day one. When they lost it, all right, cool, building back up. But then
Right,
when you constantly see them not being pushed in a direction that you want them to be pushed in, then that's the problem. Then that's when
right.
people are um going to root for one team harder than the other. Now, don't get me wrong, the War Raiders, they're amazing, but they already got that sympathy vote from that vignette that was done when they didn't know if they could come back to wrestle because they both had severe neck
An
injuries.
injuries,
And
yeah.
the one who's married to Sarah Logan, I can't remember his name right now.
That's
Um,
Raymond Rowe, or Eric.
yeah, Eric.
Yeah,
He just had another kid, so they already got that sympathy vote. So wrestling, one thing wrestling fans are gonna do, they're always gonna sympathize with you more than anything else. They're either gonna sympathize
right.
or throw a fit and have a tantrum and rage for you if they don't get what they want. So it's been a long time coming for us to finally see the Street Profits gain these tag team titles again. So yeah, I agree with you. We are more behind the New Day. Sorry, no, we're not. We're more behind the Street Profits more so than the New Day. So and I'm upset. I did a TWG Congregates and I mentioned like why the Street Profits not included on the main card at WrestleMania.
Right.
Like we don't want to see them in the match on Friday. We want to see them in the match either on Saturday or maybe on Sunday because, Montez is married to Bianca and Bianca's match is on Saturday.
Right. Yeah, it's puzzling, but like I said, when you figure when the Judgment Day had the tag titles, like they barely, I mean, JD and Finn like barely defended those. No fault of
Yeah.
theirs, obviously. They're just going off was being written. But the fact that there was no focus on these tag titles on Raw, and then all of a sudden, like I said, War Raiders win the titles. All right, cool. What's the follow up? Who are they defending against? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And now it's just a new day, and I'm just like, okay, well, it would make sense to put the titles back on the new day, being that they're now on this heel run. They're getting a lot of heat. You know what I mean? Everywhere they're going now, they're being booed out of the building. Is what you want as a heel. Because
Hmm.
for me, when they first turned heel, I'm like, this. I thought it was going to be hard, but then I'm just like, you know what? When you do what you do to somebody that is beloved like Big E,
Yeah.
that's how you. Yeah,
They
and that's the
knew they knew
thing.
the perfect way of doing so.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I knew that I think a lot of us knew that was the direction they were gonna go in. They had to go in for us to buy them as heels. But who's your pick for this match for the tag titles?
I'm really liking the War Raiders.
To retain, okay.
Yeah, I like the War Raiders to retain because they have I'm not saying that the New Day don't have a story to tell, but I think the War Raiders, you know, they could tell a little bit more of their story.
Yeah.
We've seen what the New Day could do, and I won't follow anything Kofi Kingston does until he grows back the hair on the top lip.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's giving them a lot of slack about the I guess what you call it, the chin strap type situation.
Yeah. And if
He
you're
got
gonna
the
do a
chin.
chin strap, at least put some cocoa butter on your top lip and be moisturized, something like.
We do it all on the D-Lew podcast. We got skincare routine and skincare suggestions,
Right.
by
I
Miss
mean, I'm
Krista
out here
B.
looking crazy or whatever, just a little bit, but I just got off of a flight. Like you be on national television looking crazy like that. Like,
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, moving on. We have Rey Mysterio going up against El Grande Americano.
Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, we know. But
But my thing is that you put this in Mania and not the Street Profits. This is where
yeah, yeah, it's odd, but I will say this much. Because remember, Gable wanted to go to Mexico to learn lucha and all this other stuff, and he's coming back and he's saying, "Oh, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me." But I think what's going to happen is this is the perfect stage for him to be unmasked, and I
Mm-hmm.
think Rey Mysterio is going to win this match
Oh, for
because
sure.
yeah, he'll be exposed as Chad Gable, as we all know. But then again, who knows? It could be somebody else. And then a Grande Americano could probably roll him up and pin him. It can go either way. But I'm thinking the other way of Ray winning the match and then unmasking El Grande
Yeah.
Americano. Your thoughts?
I think Ray is definitely gonna win. I would say El Grande Americano is unmasked. And then it would go to like an epic heel turn for Chad Gable. Like an epic heel turn. Um, Being heel is the best heat to be, like the best heat to have. So, because nobody's really standing behind this whole American made, Kurt Angle 2.0 type shtick. So, I
Right. To be honest with you, I kind of dig American Make in this regard. To your point, it does stem from Team Angle, obviously with Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, and Kurt Angle, because they fit the mold a little bit. You have a former Olympian in Chad Gable. An Olympian, and you got the Creed brothers that are legit as they come. You know
these
what I
brothers are
mean?
amazing.
They're
Amazing.
really, really good. And you got Ivy Nile, who again, it was a badass in her own right. So it does fit. And they are heels. But I mean,
Hmm.
as far as being villains, that might they can go a little bit deeper with it. So, I still, yeah, to your point, that could happen, but we're on the same page here with Rey Mysterio winning the match. All right, next, this is the match that we have been waiting for a long, long time. When this story started brewing last fall, Jay Cargill versus Naomi. Now, as we're
Help me
recording
out.
this, I know this is hard, hard. I know. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. You got to breathe out. Breathe in one more time. and let it all out. Woosah, woosah, namaste. All right. We're doing
We do
meditation.
everything
We do
here.
everything. We do everything. But I saw Twitter earlier where somebody, I think Jade has said something about she went to DR to
She
get
went her butt
butt
shot.
shots, and then Naomi responds and said the only ass shots that I get is from Big Jim, and I'm like, wait a minute. I said, oh man. I'm like, I said, VKM is gone when they're going in like this now. This is
Yo, the girlies have not stopped fighting since not Survivor Series, since Elimination Chamber.
Chamber, yeah.
They have not stopped fighting. And see, I've been on flights all day. I have not been on social media all day.
Yeah.
I'm catching up on work and I
Yeah,
can't
you
choose.
missed
I
that
can't
one.
choose.
This
I
was
can't
this is
choose.
crazy. She said the only shots I get is from Big Jim. And I was like, oh man, it's crazy. But you know what though? I love this metamorphosis that Naomi is doing now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a depth
Mm-hmm.
there now with a character. The proceed with caution. You know what I mean? I hope she has an incredible entrance with that proceed
Oh,
with caution
yes.
theme at Mania.
Yes.
Similar to how Dominic Mysterio came out 2 years ago at WrestleMania 39, where they had that vignette of him leaving prison and then he comes out in a paddy wagon with the LAPD. You know
I
what I mean?
love that. You know what's
That was
crazy? I was cutting Dominic ass that night because I was there, seeing it in person.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Cal from Ringer Podcast, shout out to Ringer Podcast, Ringer Wrestling Podcast. Me and him was joking, like he only went to jail because he stole that little name chain that Rhea had. That's why he only did that one day.
Right,
Like,
right, right, right.
but going back, like that has to be one of the best entrances, like in WrestleMania
Yeah,
history.
I
Like he
agree.
knew what he was doing with that. Like
Uh,
I don't really give Dom his props, but that one he knew what he was doing.
yeah, so I hope that they have something special for her because I have
Mhm.
seen sneak peeks of that stage, and man, oh man, they're going big this year
Yeah, I don't know
with the
why they
stage.
leaking sneak peeks of this stage. Like, let us be
I
surprised.
I know because I tell you what though, where we went 2 years ago at Mania 39 in LA, that's the
Nothing compared.
I got to the skybox where we were at, and I'm like,
Hmm.
are you kidding me? Just when you thought the WWE peaked, they said, "Nah, we take it to another level with the production." It's
I
crazy.
mean, it's so like I said, it's on brand because this is the first time WrestleMania has been back in Vegas since 1993.
And speaking of which, the WrestleMania 9 documentary, Becoming a Spectacle on Peacock, it's about an hour and 49 minutes long. I tell you guys, if you haven't seen it, I
It's
urge
good.
you, I
It's
beg
good.
you, please see it. They were going to expose the business in 1993 with this
Hmm.
documentary that has been in a vault,
For
has never
30
seen the
years.
light of day for 31 years.
Hmm.
And the fact that you kind of got to see people that were in their element. Undertaker was gave somebody a death stare. Why are you showing a camp?
Yeah, he
Why
was
do you have
good.
that camera?
Undertaker never
Yeah,
broke character, so.
no. Obviously, the locker room was a safe haven. You could do
Mhm.
what you want, be yourself. But yeah, sensational Sherry was like, why is that camera on me? You know what I mean? But also exposed the red and yellow man for being the politician that he is. But either way, that's neither here nor there. Get back to the
And
Naomi.
it showed Nick Khan as an
Yeah.
usher.
He was an
Like I
usher.
just did a story,
Yeah.
so I write for Pro Football Sports Network.
Okay.
So shout out to them. I just did a story on the Nick Khan going from usher
Mm.
to board member or president, like literally running the whole show. Like it's a full circle moment. And when we come to Mania, Mania is all about full circle moments.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
all about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where you started from where you going, where you've been. It's all about those full circle moments. Like going back to
Mm-hmm.
39, Rey Mysterio coming out to Eddie Guerrero's music in the beginning and the same car that Eddie Guerrero was driving. That's
Right.
a circle moment. First of all, I really thought that Eddie Guerrero was coming out because
I did too. Yeah, I was
I
like,
never heard
man.
his music live, like in an arena, like because I wasn't going to shows when Eddie was alive or
Oh,
whatever.
that's right. That's right.
So I thought Eddie was there, like, hold on, huh? And I'm like, oh wait, really back. But it's just that spectacle like that you get from WrestleMania. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
I can honestly say that I saw Eddie Guerrero perform at a WrestleMania, and that was WrestleMania 20 in that cult classic against Kurt Angle. I was in the house at the Garden
that
for that.
was so good. That match, like I started watching wrestling like high school.
Hmm.
But there's clips and stuff that I vividly remember. And even like going back, that match was literally a good one.
It was indeed, indeed. But in regards to the Jade Cargill Naomi match, I have Naomi going over. Your thoughts?
Can I plead the fifth?
One, two, three, five, four, five, field.
Ah! Okay, so
Yeah,
honestly, they both are my girls. I love them
yeah.
dearly.
Hmm.
Um, and it's very hard for me to choose because of the bias I have for both of them.
Right.
However, Naomi's development in this whole season with this proceed with caution, with her really turning heel, the hair, the vindictive laugh, the promos and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's just a new side of her. But when Jade came back, it's like she has never missed a beat or missed a step. So with
Right.
Jade's performance, in-ring performance and Naomi's promo skills, like we already know Naomi could go. We already know Jade can go. It's
Right.
really hard to choose because it can really go either way, and people will probably won't be upset. I really feel like a lot of people are standing behind Naomi though, our team Naomi. I know Queen PR, shout out to Queen PR. She's
Mm-hmm.
definitely team Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm team Naomi too. That's my girl. Um, Jay's my girl too. It's just really, really hard for me to really sit and choose. But if I had to choose, I would definitely choose Naomi.
All right. So we're in agreement with the two matches so far. So Naomi going over Jade Cargill, but I think it's gonna be some type of chicanery happening with some type
Oh,
of
for
cheap
sure.
shot or something, leg on the rope, heel stuff to get it a
For
victory for
sure.
sure.
For sure.
Absolutely. Next, we have the United States Championship with the champion LA Knight defending against Jacob Fatu. Now, I got to say this. Talk about a come up full
Yeah.
circle. And you know what I mean? Thinking about Jacob Fatu's past before
Mm-hmm.
wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
getting into wrestling, and being on the main card at WrestleMania,
Within
which
under a year.
in under a year, I mean, think about it. His daddy wrestled on WrestleMania 4 with
Mm-hmm.
Haku as the Islanders. It was a six-man tag. It was the Islanders and Bobby the Brain Heenan against Coco Beware and the British Bulldogs. And
Wow.
yeah, man, bro, I could run that whole entire card down as if it was yesterday. But to see where Jacob is, and I mean, just the fans are behind him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I think the full babyface turn is going to happen. I
For
believe
Jacob,
absolutely.
I don't, what's crazy? I don't even think that Jacob is a heel now.
Yeah,
I think that he's just so like, he's like Stone Cold.
agreed, right? But what I'm saying is that when it's not so much of him being, "Hey, cheer for me." It's more or less now the roles are set
You have
now.
the respect.
Absolutely. So I believe what's going to happen is that Solo and Tama Tonga are going to cost him the match. And I'm talking about inadvertently in the beginning costing him the match because they're going to try to get involved, that type of thing. And then when he's arguing with him, that's when they're going to start jumping him. And then that's when Jacob's going to start going wild. And the fans are going to be chanting, 5-2, 5-2, 5-2. And that's where now, boom, his trajectory is going here now because of the fact that you really got the people behind him. Your thoughts?
I can agree with that. I could definitely agree with that. moving that notion. Like, because Solo and Tama, I want more for Tama.
Hmm.
Especially now because Tangaloa is out injured, or maybe we may see
Yeah,
kind of Tangaloa. Who knows?
could
I don't know
be.
how bad his injury is, so who knows? But I do feel like Solo wants to be picked or seen or acknowledged so bad that he's willing to do anything to at least have his face go across the
Hmm.
WrestleMania stage. So I can
Absolutely.
agree
Because
on that.
could be think about it. He did a run in 39. He did a run in last year. He might as well make it for
I
trifecta,
know.
three in a row. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we'll see, but I still believe LA Knight's going to retain the United States Championship. And like I said, we can have this new story arc now with the feud of Fatu against Solo and Tama Tonga.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think I still think Jacob gonna win because Jacob is a beast. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not to give him like how many times LA Knight already held this? It would be dope if LA Knight dropped the title to Jacob at WrestleMania, grandest stage of them all, a place where his daddy fought. Like, I'm gonna go with Jacob on this. I do feel like there's gonna
Okay.
be some type of interference or whatever from Solo and Tama, but I
Right.
honestly also feel like it's going to be Jacob's time to shine for real.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
maybe it could lead up to WrestleMania or SummerSlam, Jacob versus Solo.
Right. I'm
So I'm
with
gonna go
you.
with Jacob.
All right. Well, up next we got the WWE Women's Championship. The champion Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte Flair. Let me tell you right now, the last couple of weeks has just been crazy with this feud because it was a match that no one really cared about up until about 2 weeks ago, where Tiffany got her lick back with that promo. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm like, they going there? Because at
Mhm.
first it's something like when I was watching it as it happened, I'm like, this is about to fall off the rails quick.
It did. It felt quick because
If
Chicago wasn't giving Charlotte a word in
sure,
edgewise.
no, they weren't, and I thought that was a little unfair. And there's a thing called greatness hate, right? I
Hmm.
hear Mark Henry use that phraseology a lot because somebody that's so good at what they do that it's almost like you don't want to see them succeed anymore.
Hmm.
Like you've been okay, you've been at the mountaintop. We don't want you to climb any
Don't
higher.
want you to
We
climb
want you
anymore. Yeah.
right, we want you to climb. But that's I'm sorry to say, but that's anybody. Name any
Mhm.
rapper you know that's out there. You know what I mean? Is many Drake haters that are out there and that type of thing. I don't know what side you want, Team Kendrick or Team Drake, but Drake in the beginning, everybody was riding the wave.
First of
Oh,
all,
not
I've been riding the Drake wave since he was Aubrey Graham, aka Jimmy Brooks, in the wheelchair on Degrassi.
on Degrassi.
So there's
Respect.
that.
Right.
And I
And that
and I ended up at a party with Drake.
okay,
And
I see
he's
that.
one of the most nicest people ever. So
But what I'm saying is that when he was on the rise, doing the whole young, when he did Forever, with Ye and Eminem and all that, or when he was a Young Money, when he was doing this, everybody was loving Drake. Now
hmm.
he's one of the most hated rappers out there now because this a thing called greatness hate. So I
Hmm.
think that to kind of bring it full circle now with Charlotte, I just think that a lot of fans don't like the fact that hey, every WrestleMania that she's been in, it has been for the title.
It's that, and then it's also the
Yeah,
fact of she entering at number 16 in the Rumble, and then she's winning. Like you really
yeah,
gave nobody else a real chance to be like, oh wait,
yeah.
maybe this person. Like my friend had said, oh, as soon as I saw her music hit, and she came out, I knew she was winning. It just really sucked the
Really.
fun out of it. It really did.
Mm. I
So that's what I
mean,
think it came from.
to be honest with you, I mean, because you can go back in the archives and you can check out me and Gabby's picks for the Rumble, but I was you just knew that Charlotte was going to be in the mix somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have a WrestleMania with Charlotte Flair. Historically, this is what they condition us to, that she has to be in a championship match. That's just that from her first Mania at WrestleMania 32 in that triple threat match with her, Sasha, and Becky. The
Mm-hmm.
following year was a fatal four-way match. Was a 35? No, no, no. Yeah, 33. Yeah, between
30,
34. Yeah, 34. Her match with Asuka for the title.
35.
35 was the triple threat with her, Ronda, and Becky.
I was there for
36.
that.
Oh yeah, MetLife, right. 36 was the match with Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
37 she wasn't there, but 38 she was Ronda Rousey for the title.
Mm-hmm.
39 with Rhea for the title. And 40 last year. Was she there at 40 last? No, she wasn't there at 40 last year. Then this year she's in the match for the title. So
Mm-hmm.
every match at WrestleMania,
She's had a
she
title shot.
she has had a title shot or she was defending the title.
I think they need to do to with her what they did with Roman when Roman came back after his when he was in remission, and then he went to 35 and fought Drew McIntyre, and it wasn't for a title.
No,
It was just for people to realize like, yo, he's back, like he's Roman Reigns,
he's
like he's
back.
really the big dog, he's really the man. I think that's what they need to do with Charlotte, honestly.
Yeah, like her, like I'll be honest with you, if it could have been her, hell, I would have put her in there even for the US women's title against Chelsea Green. That match would have been entertaining.
That match would have been something, yeah.
Absolutely give her something like that. But the world title, I was just like, all right. But I will say this. I'm a wrestling historian just like you are. And I remember WrestleMania 22, where everyone in the world thought that John Cena was going to drop the title to Triple H. And
Mm-hmm.
oh boy, were we wrong. Because there's a guy in the crowd that was like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone at Rosemont Horizon, now the Allstate Arena in Chicago, could not believe that happened.
John
And I
Cena
was in my living
retained.
room. John Cena retained. So that being said, I believe Tiffany Stratton is going to retain
Oh,
the
Tiffany's
WWE.
definitely retaining for
She's
sure.
retained absolutely. She's going to
Or
retain
we
the
can get a
title,
swerve and get Nia Jax to do something because we ain't see Nia in a minute neither.
and she's not on the card. Because remember, we all forgot about that feud. So to me, I think it makes total sense
Hmm.
if Tiffy if she loses the title, it'll be because of some type of outside interference, and maybe, just maybe, it could be a little twosome as far as a tandem with Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair.
Hmm.
Could be. You never know. But I'm banking on Tiffany Stratton keeping the title and
Me too.
moving on forward.
Me too.
Cool.
And I wanted this match. I really wanted this match. Like once I saw like her moonsault compared to Charlotte Flair's moonsault, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a battle
Oh, it's a matter of
moonsault.
time.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Tiffany as well.
Yeah. All right. The co-main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, we got the Ring General and the World Champion Gunther defending against main event Jey Uso. Let me tell you, I was already hooked, from the time that Jey won the Rumble and everything, and I'm like, all right, it's his time, it's his year. But that promo he cut last week, where
Still.
he said, when I lay my head down at night, I'm gonna pray to the Lord to forgive me for the man that I'm about to become. There was no yeet. There was no, there was none of that. It was just, he was like, you married? You got kids?
You got kids, you got a mom.
You got a mom?
You
It
talk to
was
her
just
every day.
like, and it was just like, that was cinema. That was something you would have, that's a
Chef's
line
kiss
that
for
you would
real.
have said, right. That's something you would have seen in a movie. You know what I mean? Name a movie that you've seen over the years in your lifetime, and that would have fit that narrative. And I think
Mm.
and I think that it's almost like there's a movie called South Central,
Hmm.
and when Bobby Johnson went to go get his son, and Ray had him,
Hmm.
and he was like, "I'm willing to die here today, Ray, for my boy." That was just like, damn,
That could have fit in Paid in Full too. When they
yeah,
when they took the little brother.
absolutely, uh-huh. So it's it was a level of depth that Jey Uso went to from a storytelling perspective to let you know, oh, It ain't all just fun and games with him. Yeah, he can make the kids and the yeet and all that. That's cool. But when it's time to get serious,
But now
he
you're touching my
can.
family, like you rubbing my brother's
Absolutely.
blood on
Oh
you.
yeah. That's you gotta
Okay.
pay for that. You gotta get you
Okay.
gotta get you gotta get your comeuppance for that. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're gonna have about 65,000 people, or how many people is gonna be at Allegiant Stadium yeeting when Jey Uso shocks the world and
Ugly
becomes
cry.
the new world heavyweight champion. I'm probably gonna shed a tear too because
Ugly cry, lashes gonna come off, snot gonna be down to my ankles, like ugly cry because the way that I've been behind Jey Uso ever since he turned, ever since he was holding, not even turned, ever since he was holding it down by himself when Jimmy was injured, when
yeah,
him and Roman had that damn I
Hell in a
quit whatever
Cell.
match
Yeah,
it
the Hell
was.
in a
Yeah,
Cell.
the
The
Hell in
Hell
the
in a
Cell match.
Cell. Yeah.
I've been riding. I mean, like I've always ridden with Jey Uso,
Mhm.
but in those moments, I already seen it. If we walk out of Allegiant Stadium on Saturday and Jey Uso is not the new WWE champion, we riot. We riot. There'll be no WrestleMania night two. Y'all don't
I
give us what
tell
we want.
you, because I got to tell you, like, this is a 4.5 to 5 year evolution that we're seeing right now with Jey Uso, and we know which twin is who now.
Yes.
And this is no shade on Jimmy
Yeah, you're
because
right.
we all know Jimmy is probably the most unserious of the twins. You know what I mean? He is,
He's
but
the
he
most
has his
craziest one.
yeah, but he has his own thing that he does, which is great. You know, what I mean? The Big Jim moniker and stuff. That's great because it's giving himself an identity outside of the tag team. You know what I mean? So that's why I enjoy most about now Jimmy doing his thing and Jay doing his thing. But yeah, we're both in agreement that Jay's gonna walk out as the world champion. And now the main event of night one, triple threat match: Roman Reigns, CM Punk with Paul Heyman, and Seth freaking Rollins. And I am happy, number one, that Punk is finally okay. Main event Punk now. Main event WrestleMania. That's awesome. It's really, really cool. Really happy for him. And I'm pretty sure that once he showed who he really is, I'm talking about behind the scenes. And again, I'm not privy to any of that, but he's getting along with everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's no news of him being a backstage nuisance or anything like that. Triple H just put out an interview recently, said that one of the things he looks forward to going to TV is collaborating with CM Punk. Imagine that. A guy that they probably wouldn't exchange Christmas cards just a couple years ago. Now they're working together. Now, my pick for this match might shock some, but it may not shock some. But it's going to be Seth Rollins winning this
Mm-hmm.
match, and Mr. Heyman's going to have something to do with that. Your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts?
I agree. I definitely agree with you. I do think that Seth Rollins is gonna win
Yeah,
because the favor from Punk was put him in the main event, but he never said he had to win that main event. And
right.
Roman's been in well, how many 11, 10, 11 main events ever at
10. This is
WrestleMania?
his 10th. This is his
His
10th main
10th one.
event.
So he already know what it is. And don't get me wrong, like Seth Rollins has, been in main events too.
Yeah,
But I do think because owes Paul owes Seth a favor, yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna see a big swerve. Because I definitely said, I'm like, yo, what if Seth Rollins becomes Paul Heyman's new tribal chief? Like, what's next for Roman Reigns? Like, where do we go with our tribal chief? Because we always gonna acknowledge Roman.
Oh, yeah.
Go. Like, where do we go? So I definitely agree. I agree with you. Do I want it to happen that way? This match can go either way for me because the hatred that all three of these men have for each other and the fact that the hatred is real outside of the ring for CM Punk and Seth Rollins, just really never know. Just really never know.
And this is the prime example of professionalism. And who, you know, what, for all we know, they're probably working this and they're probably patched everything up. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I
Well, Seth
mean?
Rollins keep doing interviews. I just did another story on him today. He called CM Punk a cancer. So
Yeah,
and
but
a
you know what
parasite.
though? Well, I'll put you this way. They have to sell the match too. That's another. I mean, that's why. I mean, they want to keep kayfabe to a certain extent. Then it's like, okay, Punk is like, you know what? Let's make money off of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna go there, let's make money off of it. Because Punk said it. He's like, if you want to believe stuff that's out there about me, fine, just leave me alone. Like that's always been his attitude, and that's why I love Punk about that. You know what I mean? So we'll see what how as we go off the air on Saturday night, who the wise man is gonna be latching onto, and we believe is gonna be Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. All right, so we are now moving to night number two, and it looks like it's going to be for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, against Bayley and the Intercontinental Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria. Now, the part I'm confused about is unless this is an arc for Bayley to turn heel and start chasing the IC title from Lyra, I don't know why this team is is challenging these. I mean, when you had Chant, was it Caden Chance or
Kaden Carter, Katana Chance.
yeah, like they couldn't be in this WrestleMania. They're a legit tag team.
Something happened with Katana though, because she posted it on Twitter. Like she's like, I appreciate all the love or something or whatever. I don't know if like she's
Oh, she had put something out fairly recently about her being bullied at the PC by I guess some women that were on the indies
mhm.
that got signed, and here's a girl that's coming out. I think she was on American Ninja Warrior, I think. So she wasn't in the wrestling space. She wasn't on the independent. She didn't go that route. So she was talking about how she was bullied. You know what I mean? What are you doing here? Why, how did you get here? Type situation. That's what I think she was alluding to that.
Mhm. Okay, okay. Yeah, but you're right. Like we don't see Kaden Carter and Katana Chance like that on
No. Like
um
on TV. Like
mhm.
they're a legit tag team. So in my mind, I'm like, why are and again, I don't mind seeing Bailey on pay-per-view. Don't get me wrong. I sorry, PLE. I don't mind seeing her on there. She deserves to be on there. But in a different role, in a different
Mhm.
capacity. I mean, hell, I would have had Bailey defend if they would have had an IC title match, because they had it on Raw a few weeks ago. I would have had that on WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I'm just so confused. It's like we wanted these women to have the same titles as the men, but
Men,
then they're
right?
not being defended. Like why is an IC champion going into a WrestleMania
A tag team title
for a
match.
tag team title? And then where the hell is Chelsea Green the United States title? Like
Yeah,
it just doesn't make
that was
sense.
bad. But like I said, and again, we don't know what the end game is. Only they do. They hold the cards. All I'm saying is, if this is a way where Bailey, let's just say she inadvertently or Lyra inadvertently hits Bailey, and then she gets rolled up, and they win. Raquel and Liv retain the titles. This would piss Bailey off, and that's when the heel turn happens. And now people are booing Bailey, and then now people can have sympathy for Lyra, and now this eventual encounter is going to happen on TV somewhere down the road. That's the only thing I'm thinking right now on that.
It makes sense, but I guess we just have to see when it comes. Like this match just doesn't really do anything for me. I can't honestly.
Yeah, and this is no knock on the talent. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking like this. We're not talking about the talent. We just talk about the creative that they're given. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I mean,
definitely.
I love Liv Morgan has been. She has risen her game. Oh my God, like she truly has, and I'm really really proud of her of what she's doing these last I would say the last year really. So the next match I really don't want to talk about, but I have to, and this is no fault to the guy I'm going to mention first, AJ Styles against Logan Paul. Um, I'm afraid AJ is going to lose this match because you know you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whose logo was on the middle of the ring? So
Logan.
your thoughts?
See, here's my thing. I like Logan Paul. Like I like Logan Paul. Logan Paul has proven to be a good wrestler. Like somebody who came from the
Hmm.
outside, somebody who came
Yeah,
from like that YouTube TV world or
for
whatever.
sure. Yeah. Hmm.
So I like the fact that he took it serious, just like Bad Bunny took it serious. I like
I
that.
agree. Hmm.
However, comma, I don't think that AJ Styles should put him over because I honestly feel like Logan Paul is one of the people where they're gonna be talking about in the locker room, like they talk about, red and yellow. Um, and whatever he says, you don't believe, and him being such a, so I don't think that if AJ could drop it to anybody, AJ could drop it to anybody else or like put over anybody else. Logan Paul's
Yeah.
already over because he already has that YouTube community. He already has
Right.
like his brother's fans. Like,
Right.
no,
Yeah. But I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. So it is what it is.
it's a question mark for me.
I agree. Now, this match, I think, is going to be a show stealer. And it's a fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship
Yep.
where the champion, Braun Breaker, takes on Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, we're gonna see the oohs and the ahs and the everything, including the kitchen sink in this match. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
None. You're going to be very surprised. Well, you might be. You mentioned him earlier, but I believe this individual is going to walk out come hell or high water as the new Intercontinental Champion. His name is Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you.
Oh man, talk
Can
about
we
it.
edit that part out? No, just kidding. No,
Oh my
I
god.
have to agree with you because of the fact it builds more, it adds more to the story and the feud and the jealousy between Finn and Dom.
Uh-huh.
Um, Penta is too early for Penta to get. Like Penta's
Yeah.
not there yet to get anything yet.
No.
Um, and then who's the other one?
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breakers are just killing people. Like a moment of silence for Carlito, because
Yeah.
okay. Cause like what? Like
Yeah, Braun Breaker is a freakish athlete, and are we so? But I tell you what though, if Penta somehow does win, that wouldn't shock me either.
not mad at it.
I
Not
wouldn't
mad.
be, and I wouldn't be mad at it either. Because hell, put it to you this way: when Santino Marella went to the main roster, he was picked out as a fan in the crowd and beat Umaga over in Italy for the IC title. So Penta
I
winning
mean,
wouldn't
because that
shock
was
me.
also his hometown. That was his home country.
Right. But yeah, but I think, but my main pick is going to be Dom. Dirty Dom, I
Yeah.
think is going to be the IC title. Because let's be real, he has been the MVP, in my opinion, of Judgment Day. Because he gets the most heat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Latino cheat gets the most heat. So I believe that's going to happen.
Listen, I'm with you when you're right. I believe that you're right.
All right. Next match, we have a Sin City street fight. Sin City right there. Damian Priest against Drew McIntyre. I gotta ask you, what's up with this Damian Priest hate, man? I don't understand. You
Who's
know,
hating Damian Priest
I
besides
mean,
Drew McIntyre?
you got fans online, and again, Triple H did say it that the internet is not real. He did say
Not a
that
real,
recently, huh?
it's not a real place.
It's not a real place, and it's unfortunate, and it's like you got a but Kevin Owens said it best that social media could be a cesspool, but there were people on social media that were just dogging Damian Priest. I'm like, what the hell? Now I've only met him once, and that was because my first day at the Monster Factory, he was actually there because he was one of the coaches there, and he was actually agenting. He was one of the agents for the Battle Royal that night. And that was the only time that I met him. So I don't know him personally. He may have seen me because I'm sure he watches some of the factory shows from time to time. But he may have seen me as doing a ring announcer thing. But we've never we're not buddy buddy or anything like that. But because of his affiliation with the factory, I have a spot for him. You know what I mean? I have a huge spot for him. I believe because remember, a year ago, he beat Drew McIntyre by cashing in and beating him for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I kind
That
of
was such a
like,
great moment.
oh my God, I was in section wherever it was where I was so far up that you could literally see concrete behind me. I wanted to be there in case he did cash in, and he did. And I shed tears because I know about his journey of
Hmm.
where he's come from and where he is. And I was just like, man, that was so cool. And to see that live across the river from where he was training at the Monster Factory, that was
Hmm.
just super, super cool. But I think Damian wins this street fight. I really
Oh,
do.
for sure. Damian
Yeah.
wins and Drew McIntyre continues to cry.
Yeah, because not Damian, Drew McIntyre is still the biggest hater in wrestling right now. I can't see another wrestler that's like the biggest hater right now. Probably Seth Rollins in a distant second, I think, but it's safe to say that Drew McIntyre is the player hater of the year for the
But I
last
think
two
Seth
years.
Rollins' hate is kind of plausible because it's like more of a personal hate. Like it's more of a, not something you did to me in the ring in front of thousands of people. Like you literally you crashed out on them and then you cut me off and then lied about people not being there in your corner and stuff like that.
He
Like
got
it's
ghosted.
different.
He got
He
ghosted.
got ghosted, so it's
He got
different.
ghosted, yeah. But I think and I didn't mean to jump off the topic, but I think why I kind of defend Punk is because his lawyers told him do not talk to anybody there, because
Hmm.
ultimately you never know who they may be talking to. You know what
Right.
I mean? So it's like it's a two-way street. I don't want to say nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just, hey, we're here now, and I'm glad that they're working. I'll put you this way: if CM Punk was such a piece of crap, none of those guys would want to work with him, and I'll leave it at that. But
Hmm.
who are you picking for this street fight?
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. All right, we'll go with Damian Priest. All right, so we now have the triple threat match that we all knew what was going to go down at WrestleMania 41 for the Women's World Championship. Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Give it to me. Who do you have? And first of all, how did you like this build, of this match becoming what it is?
I knew that Bianca was going to be in a triple threat match, regardless. Either she was going to be in a triple threat match with Jade, Naomi, and her, or with Rhea and Io. Um,
Mhm.
I did love the bill. I did love the fact that you're not going to keep shitting on that on Io. Like
Right, right,
she's like, you're not going to keep disrespecting me. Like I'm the champion now. Nobody else
right.
but me. I'm the champion. So y'all gonna put some respect on my name. I knew that Bianca Bianca was gonna be on this WrestleMania card one way or another. And then for Rhea, I was really surprised when EO won.
I was too.
I
I
was really
was I was
surprised
like, I
when
couldn't
EO won.
believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know that she was really gonna win. Um So with this match and how they like going back and forth, I'm loving it. I'm really, really loving it. And I don't know, like this match can go either way for me and I'll be okay. Like I'll kind of be hurt if Bianca loses her streak because she's undefeated
Yeah,
in Mania.
yeah,
And at the same time, um Rhea Ripley has never beaten Io Sky.
right,
Um and Io Sky has to really prove herself to these women. So it can really go either way. And like I honestly do not have a winner. Not even like because I'm biased because Bianca my girl. Um I just genuinely don't have a winner. Like whoever wins this match, I know they're gonna put on a banger of a fucking match. And
right.
whoever wins this match, I'll be cool with.
I have a winner. Her name is Io Sky, who's going to retain the title. And as much as I would not want to see Bianca lose her streak, I believe because of this thing with Jade and Naomi, I think Naomi is going to cost Bianca the match. Basically saying, if
Mhm.
I can't have the title, baby, you can't have it either.
I agree. I think I would have to agree with that. I've been saying anything can happen. The possibilities are endless. You
Right.
just never know. Just never know.
Definitely. Well, we finally made it to the main event of rest of night two of WrestleMania 41. It's for the undisputed WWE Championship. The champion Cody Rhodes defending against John Cena. Um, this build has been interesting to me because all they've done is really just cut promos
Hmm.
overseas.
Hmm.
That's all they've done was cut promos overseas. Now, apparently, this Friday, I believe John Cena is supposed to be on SmackDown.
Hmm.
So I guess we hear more from him. But I mean, that last promo that they did together in the ring, where I mean, that just showed the world that Cody can hold his own on the microphone when you're in a promo battle with somebody. But to me, I don't know. The build was just the fact that Cena hasn't been stateside. He's been overseas filming a movie, and then The Rock wasn't there at his side. Like we kind of lost that in the shuffle a little bit. How the Travis Scott, you know what I mean? All this stuff that happened in Elimination Chamber, I thought it lost his steam a little bit. But I think that last promo they did, I believe they were in London. I think that kind of really set the table for okay, now we're heading to Mania now.
And The Rock's
Now,
name was mentioned, so
it
you
was
never
mentioned.
know.
Which one of us sold out to The Rock?
It was mentioned, so and The Rock, just come back. I mean, I'm wearing your jacket. I got your jacket on, wherever it is, over there on the bed. Like,
Mhm.
just come back so I can see you again. Like,
It's
we
gonna
ready.
be
It's
it's
gonna
gonna be
be something.
interesting.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
something.
something. I will say now again, I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan. I really am. But I think John Cena is gonna walk out as the 17-time world champion.
Oh yeah, no, not me. I think Cody's retaining.
Really? Okay.
Uh-huh. I
I
think
would
Cody's
and he-
retaining.
I wouldn't mind Cody retaining. By the way, I don't mind that. I don't mind. There's again the small minority is saying, "Oh, I don't want Cody to be a champion anymore." It's like, yo, dude, listen. The amount of merchandise. Please understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Last year at WrestleMania, when they had WWE World now that's making money, Cody Rhodes alone sold over $1 million in merchandise
Hmm.
in a 5 day span. So when you talk about who's the guy, or whatever the case, it's very, very clear that Cody is the guy. Now, what I'm
Hmm.
saying is Cena being champion, this is all leading to Cody having that redemption. Now, Bully Ray on Busted Open Radio, shout out to the whole crew of Busted Open. Bully made a point recently about how Cody can get the title back and also finish another part of his story. Because remember, when Dusty Rhodes thought he won the title, it was at Madison Square Garden. John Cena's last match should be at Madison Square Garden, and they do the holiday tour December 26th. They've been doing it on December 26th since the beginning of time.
Hmm.
Can you imagine that being a network special of I don't know when December 26th is on the calendar. I don't have it in front of me, but if they were to do something like that of Cena's last match and Cody winning the championship in Madison Square Garden, it doesn't get any better than that.
That'd
Your
be the most
thoughts?
crazy thing ever.
Hmm.
I don't think that Cena's gonna win this one. I
Hmm.
do feel like Cody's gonna retain again.
Hmm.
I do feel like the Cody Cena feud will not be over after this one's over, after Mania.
No, 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 not at all.
Um, but it's gonna be an interesting match to see. I do feel like The Rock may interject because he's gonna use his final boss promo and
Hmm.
shtick and be like he's ahead of the table and all of this nonsense. Um, and then I also feel like we're gonna see more depth to John Cena. We're gonna see the Cena of old return,
Hmm.
and it's gonna build layers. But I do feel like Cody Rhodes is walking out as champ. He's retaining.
Okay. I respect no, and I totally respect that. Well, I totally respect that. But it's going to be an incredible, incredible event. If you haven't done so already, if you don't have Peacock, in the United States, I urge you to get it. I'm pretty sure they'll give you a free trial. And if you're overseas listening to this or watching this, of course, you can look at it on Netflix and you can watch the 41st edition of WrestleMania. I mean, I can't, it's crazy. As I'm looking at, as I keep scrolling through, Peacock, and I'm watching, I'm trying to see which Mania I want to watch. I'm just saying, I've seen all of these as it happened. It is
Mm-hmm.
crazy to think that this event that took place at Madison Square Garden that everyone thought was only going to be a one-time thing,
One time thing. We're
because
now
you had
41 years in.
right because you had Muhammad Ali, you had Mr. T, you had Cyndi Lauper, you had Liberace, you had the Rockettes, you had the New York Yankees manager Billy Martin as a special ring announcer. Like, you had all of this spectacle happening, you know what I mean, for this one event. And I could just remember as a kid, I was in first grade when WrestleMania 1 came out. And just the build up to it with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T being on Saturday Night Live. Cyndi Lauper, obviously, who was one of the most popular artists out. When you think about Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince, Cyndi Lauper was just as
In that
popular
mix.
as them.
Yep.
And when
Hmm.
you had that Girls Just Want to Have Fun was out at that time.
And
And
Captain Lou
it
Albano was her
Captain
dad
Lou,
in the
yeah,
video.
in the video, yeah. So it's like it was truly awesome. And just to see it at a theater, it wasn't pay-per-view yet, it was closed circuit TV. And then you go to the next year, WrestleMania 2, they're doing it in three different cities
Hmm.
as a simulcast. It was crazy. Like, the former owner of WWE, regardless of all of his transgressions, with all of stuff that he has going on, I can't deny as a fan of his influence, not only in the pro wrestling space, but in pop culture.
Yeah, true. Like you always got to give credit when credit is due. Like I would thank him for that part of it.
Right.
Whatever else, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Thank you for if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here.
Oh, no, 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 no.
I wouldn't be
I
in
always say
Vegas.
that. No, if it wasn't for that, I trust me, we wouldn't be doing the things that we're doing. We wouldn't be going to these events, meeting all these different content creators and everything. Like, I wouldn't have met most of you. I would have never met. So in that regard,
Thank
I'm
you.
appreciative of that. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, but he was 25 to 30 years ahead of his time in regards to what those other promoters were doing. The other promoters was just wanted to do their territories, and that was it. He was thinking global,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people didn't like that, and his life was almost threatened several times.
Not
If you
almost
ever
certain. It
watch
was certain.
it, what yeah, and I mean, if you watch the documentary on Netflix, he alludes about being tossed at the bottom of a river, and all a lot of this stuff was happening, but he weathered the storm. And I mean, he went through his, there was things there was highs, there was the lows, there was the steroid trial, then of course he was losing the battle to WCW and all that, and yet, and there was these WrestleManias that were happening in between that were kind of but I would say the WrestleMania that I thought it started picking up again was WrestleMania 13. And
With
that it was kind of, yeah, with,
Mhm.
obviously when you had Brett and Austin, who, by the way, their match is at the moment WWE Hall of Fame induction that's going in this weekend. CM Punk will be inducting Bret Hart and Steve Austin's match, the submission match. I wish Ken Shamrock would have been a part of this too, because he was a special guest referee. I don't know what if there are any issues with Ken Shamrock in the WWE, but I think him being that third man in there, because you figure at that time he was the world's most dangerous man,
And
and coming from the U.
he came in as MMA submission. Like he wasn't even a wrestler yet.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. So it was I just wish he was a part of that, and I hope, and I'm pretty sure that Brett and Steve Austin are going to bring up Ken Shamrock, because he was a very, very important piece to that match, especially what happened after the match when Shamrock got Brett off of him and slammed him. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So I hope that happens. Of course, you have Lex Luger going to the Hall of Fame, inducted by Diamond Dallas Page. You have Michelle McCool going in, inducted by The Undertaker. So and of course you have Triple H being inducted by Shawn Michaels. There's the Legacy Hall of Fame
We
with
forgot about natural disasters. We don't know
the
who's gonna
natural.
do them yet though.
No one knows who's going to induct them. I have no idea who is, but man, it's hard to say. Maybe it could be IRS and the Million Dollar Man, because they did have
Hmm.
the Natural Disasters and Money Inc. did have some really, really good matches. They wrestled at WrestleMania 8. So
Hmm.
who knows? And they did drop the titles to each other a few times, that type of thing, in 92. But I don't know who's going to induct them. But I know Kamala and the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff are going into the legacy wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. I think there's another person too. I just can't remember right now off the top of my head, but the WWE Hall of Fame is going to be rocking. Then there's WrestleMania After Dark. Are you going to be going to that?
I don't know. I don't know yet. All I know, my focus right now is Wale Mania.
Yeah, on Netflix, guys. If you got tonight, it's going to be on. And big shout out to Big Swole, who's going to be hosting Wale Mania. So big love to Big Swole. I'm so proud of her. I like her. She's
My
awesome. A
girl,
really
shout
really
out
good
Big
swole.
Swole.
Yeah, Big Swole, absolutely. And then you have of course, you have SmackDown. There's all these events that are happening in Las Vegas for Mania Week. So, Krista B, before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find you, where they can listen to those wrestling girls in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, so you can follow those wrestling girls on every streaming platform, every social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. We're on there too. Make sure you join our discussion groups. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. I believe we're probably like one or two subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers. So please make sure
Do it
you
up.
subscribe those
Yes.
wrestling girls on YouTube. You can follow me, Miss Krista B, MS underscore KRISTAB underscore on Instagram and MS underscore KRISTAB on Twitter. And you can follow my co-host, my better half, Queen PR, that's Queen, three underscores PR on all social media platforms.
Awesome. Well, as always, Krista, this is your second time on the show. Again, all love, have fun, be careful
Thank
out
you.
there. And like I said, I'm sure we'll definitely circle back again somewhere down the road.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. Well, that does it for this week's edition of the D-Lew podcast. Once again, I want to thank Miss Krista B for taking the time to run down this entire WrestleMania card on the show. And I'm sure we'll be crossing paths somewhere down the road. If you haven't done so already, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button no matter which platform that you're on. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Make sure you do that. And also my YouTube channel, okay? If you haven't done so already, go to my YouTube channel, Derrick T. Lewis, the real DT Lew, and make sure when you hit the bell, make sure you hit all. So you're getting all notifications on when there's new content. All right. Make sure you do that. Social media. Make sure you follow this show on social media at the D-Lew Podcast. My social media is at the real DT Lew, with the exception of Facebook, which is Derrick T. Lewis official page. Hit up my stores. I have a pro wrestling tee store. You can go to pwt.derricklewis.com. And also you can go to the Derrick T. Lewis official merchandise store at shop.derricklewis.com. And I got that Nike collection for you. There's hats, the pullover fleece hoodies, and the dry fit tees. Well, I'm going to get out of here. And as I always say, no matter what it is you do in life, always remember to make it count. And most importantly, enjoy WrestleMania 41 this weekend. See you next time.